Welcome to episode 91 of The Endless Stream. I'm Aidan, and this week I am joined by Kevin. We are two artists, illustrators, filmmakers, and just all-round shit talkers. And each week we take some of the endless stream of content brought to you through Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Prime. Wherever you get your content, we take a chunk of it, we watch it, and we talk about it. This week we are talking about the Henry Cavill news. We're talking about The Rock being... let down by the Black Adam world, I guess. He made his bed, I guess. We also talk about a 2016 film called Better Watch Out, which is kind of like creepy Home Alone. That and a whole bunch of other stuff. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to the podcast. Head over to iTunes, head over to Spotify, rate, review, like, subscribe, do all of those good things that really help us out. Tell a friend about The Endless Stream. The Endless Stream rolls on. Also, you can head over to Instagram at The Endless Cast, where we put up art and clips to go with each episode. And that's a great place to send us a comment, send us a direct message, suggest something for us to watch, send a difference of opinion. If you thought Better Watch Out was garbage, let us know. If you think Better Watch Out was amazing, let us know. You can also send us an email at theendlesscast@gmail.com. All that being said, let's get into the episode.
Aidan had a show last night in the Pierce Theatre, which I've never been to before, in Dublin, and it was lovely. It was BYOB, and it was a Christmas bonanza. It was very good.
It was an extravagant...
You have the panto in your future, Aidan.
Ooh.
Would you do the panto?
Would I do the panto?
Yeah.
Yes. I was thinking about that recently. Huh? Did you say don't? Don't.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that recently, because the minute you start doing any of this shit, you're like opening the little fucking doors to like, what is your barrier? Like, what would you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, or what wouldn't you do?
Yeah. It was a very funny show. We had Robbie Wilde, we had Foulmouth Joe, we had Madeline Munford, we had Blahind Burka, and we had a sketch group called Jaguar, and they were class. And we did our shtick as well, the Bag of Cats.
Bag of Cats group on Instagram. For all those interested, hire them for your kids' birthday party.
God. That show, I'll talk about it with you later, because recapping improv on a podcast is nonsense, but like that went...
No.
It was very funny, but it went haywire.
It went absolutely haywire, and poor Aidan did his very best to bring them back into safer territory.
Yeah, and they did their very best to undermine every attempt to do that.
Yes, but that was at least that was very obvious for me.
I think it was obvious for everybody that I think I was the conscience of the stage trying to.
Yeah.
Like, I thought once we got back to the core scene I thought Sharon was going to help me out, and I said we should try and build a brighter, happier, more inclusive future. She went, "Fuck that." I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm trying here."
Terrible, but it was good fun. All in jest. As comedy is.
How was your week, Kevin? What did you get up to?
My week was interesting. I went to a Jameson event on Monday night.
Oh, very nice. Oh, you showed me the little flask. Did you get that at that, or did you?
No. I got that last year when I did the commercial for them. I got that last year.
Lovely little thing, like very like.
It is beautiful, isn't it?
Any sort of like
gorgeous,
gifty hip flasks I've seen people get are always like, you know, especially when you're like, buy a bottle of wine, get a hip flask, or buy a bottle of whatever, get a hip flask. They're always, you know, lightweight tchotchke souvenir piece of shit.
No, this is. So this came in like a chest with like a special bottle of whiskey and a few little bits and pieces, and then this hip flask came in a box, and we opened up the box, like it provided the name of the person who put the letter on it and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's like super nice. It's a gold hip flask with a letter bound on it. It's beautiful though. It was BYOB, and I just brought a little bit of whiskey and coke. Actually, I didn't drink all of it, but I had a little bit of it. I had some beers as well. I had like 1 or 2 beers, but it is a beautiful little hip flask though. It's really cool. It's the first time I actually brought it out, because I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. You know, the little theater. It's cold. I could have a little whiskey. It's great.
Lovely.
It was awesome.
Lovely thing.
Yeah. It was so great. Yeah, I went to the Pier Centre. Never been there before. Fucking awesome. Cool little place.
Nice little space, isn't it? There's a group called Autocorrect that do monthly shows in there, and we sent them a message when we were looking for a venue, going, would you be okay if we like overlapped? And they do a monthly show at Autocorrect on Instagram.
And what are they, improv as well?
Yeah. They bring together little So they do their own show, but they also then like do break themselves into subsets and do little 10-minute things, and they invite guests and stuff. So they're a nice platform for improv.
We should attend sometime.
I think they're great. And it's, as I say, it's a nice spot, and BYOB is fun. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like Ireland has some weird buildings because everything's so fucking old. Like everything would have been a house at some point, but you basically walk through this old, what would you say, Georgian, Victorian, Edwardian, one of those old royals.
Yep.
You walk up the front steps, through the house, into the back garden, down the end which would probably have been a, stable house type of job that they've converted to a theatre.
Mini theatre. It's great.
Yeah,
it is really nice. I don't know if you saw it, because Emer and I, basically it was my fault. I read the bus things wrong, but we got dropped off in the wrong area, so we had to do a bit of a loop and walk back. But we were walking just outside the theatre. I don't know if you saw the lads. They were like, I think there were bouncers on the doors somewhere, definitely security, but they had 2 massive dogs with them, huge dogs, like kind of, I don't know what they were, some sort of mastiffs or something. And then one of them looked like a massive bloodhound. I don't know what it was, but they were just they were massive. I thought at first it was like a Christmas decoration or prop, I was walking past the thing, it was huge. And it was just like, nope, that's a dog. It was sitting down, it was probably like up to my, like above my hip. If it was sitting down, it was massive. It was just 2 seconds up the road from the Pierce Centre.
So where was that? That was...
I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I was trying to work out. It might have been the offices or something. No. Okay. Further on.
All right.
Yeah. Interesting though. Yeah.
So you went to this Jameson event.
Yeah, sorry, completely sidetracked.
No, I sidetracked.
Jameson invited us down. So since I did the ad for them, they've invited me to take part in a few events and a few other kind of like stuff for them. I couldn't take part in the last one, which was a pity because I had some cool ideas and stuff, but couldn't take part in the last one. I was in Brazil, but this time I didn't have to do anything. I just had to show up, so it was grand. Just went there. It was a wee gig. Maverick Sabre did one song. The composer Dahi, I think his name is. He's from Galway.
He's great.
He was on stage doing a set, and then Maverick Sabre came on and did a song with him, and they had like 4 kind of different cocktails available, whiskey cocktails. And one of them was a kind of like a black barrel maple old fashioned, and then the other one was like some Jameson Strawberry Fields cocktail, which was delicious. I never had it before, and I actually decided to go for that a second time. It was really, really good. But yeah, that was it. Monday night, pretty chill. Good gig. Got home around 10. It was fun.
That's awesome. And it was Christmassy as all hell, was it?
Not particularly. I think it felt like there was more of a, just like kind of like a regular party vibe.
Okay.
Wasn't particularly Christmas. It was in the Workman's. It was downstairs in the Workman's.
Oh right, okay.
But it was fine. It was really good. They had like a nice little setup down there and stuff. It was cool. But yeah, that was Monday night. I don't think I did anything else this week in the evenings, to be honest. No, I did not. I did watch a healthy slathering of some Christmas stuff.
Very good. I watched a chunk of Spirited again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I watched a huge amount of stuff because I've been busy. This week was finishing up work, so I needed to make sure everything was squared away. So I'm off for the week and won't be back till the new year, which is great relief.
Amazing.
And then trying to get that show ready for Friday. Like you saw all the cardboard boxes wrapped up, like that took a while, and me just overthinking things.
As you do. You need an assistant, Pat. You honestly got to do.
Yeah, but it also needs to be revenue generating to warrant.
I know an assistant, but you could do it, would.
Yeah, it's great crack. I don't know. We're doing another thing in Bewley's on Monday. Like half of us did this course, and it's culminating in a showcase in Bewley's on Grafton Street, which is going to be great fun as well.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't quite realise there was a little.
What time in there. Is that?
Monday, December 19th, 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock is the time on the Eventbrite. So, Cavill news. I mean, I think the world knows at this point, and it's not a spoiler. Henry Cavill is back as Superman. And he's gone.
And he's gone.
And he's not going to be Superman
Well,
moving forward.
It was like a commercial for Still It Bang. Yeah. Bang! And the dirt is gone. Poor old Cavill. But here, not for nothing, but I'm going to treat myself this Christmas.
And you're going to watch the 4-hour Snyder cut of the Justice League, yeah?
No, I'd rather rip my face off. I'm going to treat myself this Christmas, and I might get some, speculation books.
Oh, I see.
Uh-huh. Less said about that, the better, yeah?
Yeah.
You shut up, Aidan. Keep your filthy mouth shut.
So what he's suggesting is he has an idea of what's coming down the pipeline through the DC cinematic universe, and you want to buy some first appearances and stuff just to have them before some celebrity plays whoever the hell.
Well, not necessarily DC, because
I don't want to drive people in that direction and make it harder for you to buy them.
No, because no, I'm not buying DC books, man.
Do you know what I wish I did 6 months ago when I was looking at it and asking you if I should do it? Buy the full run of the Blue Beetle for £100 on eBay.
The Blue Devil?
Blue Beetle as well.
Oh, right, really?
Yeah, the Ted Kord Blue Beetle. Huh?
Well, you could still do it.
I'm curious to see if the price is massive compared to when I last looked at it.
Quite often not. That market moves slowly, man, sometimes. Moves real slowly. Ebbs and flows. Ebbs and
Well, maybe
flows.
I'll Christmas gift myself.
Yeah, I think you should, Aidan. I think you're a really special guy.
Aww.
You deserve the world.
So what I was going to say was, I'll give you my speculation on this, and I know it's wrong, but this is my idle reckoning. And I'm not sure if we've said it before, but we've been talking about Cavill, whether or not he'd play Sentry, Hyperion, Captain Britain, somebody in the Marvel world. It felt like he was in talks with Marvel, but then there was the rumours of talks with DC to come back as Superman. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson kept sort of suggesting it was possible, and that was all hype building for the cameo, and he got to announce he was back. I would say that as tough as the negotiations were around that film, a lot of it will be Cavill going, I have X lined up in my schedule. I'm making enough money and have enough clout to self-direct or to produce or move towards things I want to do. You're going to have to make this worthwhile because you've been stringing me along as Superman for a decade at this point. He's had one standalone film, and it hasn't really served the character development at all. I would reckon, this is a big guess, I would say it was, I've only ever heard these referred to as pay or play deals, where you either play the character in the movie that gets made, or you get paid for your time even considering it. So I would reckon he just got a chunk of cash for being contracted. Yeah,
for sure, because it seems pretty amicable in the sense of what they posted. So I'd imagine he's just like, I don't get to play this character, but I got paid for playing that character.
Exactly. I would say there was a, listen, you're trying to sign me on here. You have no clear direction for this cinematic universe. You have no script for a Superman movie. You have no plan for a release date for a Superman movie. If you want me to sign on and contract myself to being this character, I get my salary one way or another. And then they brought in James Gunn, is my understanding, and he was given into this new role where he has sort of creative control over the direction of the universe, which is great to have. As much as I know Brian doesn't like James Gunn, I've been kind of won over to him over the last year and a half because I really enjoyed Peacemaker.
I don't really know what movies of James Gunn's I don't like, I guess. Just in the sense of I like Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, Scruff shits on that. I really enjoyed that.
I thought it was a good how do you say, it's a good sequel, and I don't know, that end stuff with Groot and Rocket Raccoon and all that kind of stuff as they're flying around. I kind of give people jetpacks and I enjoy that stuff. Yeah.
It felt to me, especially the weird kitschy shots of Kurt Russell on top of spaceships, it felt like a It felt like an episode of Star Trek: The Original Series in places. You know, it had this sort of like 60s on a soundstage vibe in a good way.
Yes, it was fun. I enjoyed it. So James Gunn has 20 director credits,
Right.
And
3 of them are Guardians, Slither,
Peacemaker,
Peacemaker,
Suicide Squad, movie 43. But yeah, that's okay.
Segment,
That was only a segment. Yeah. Super is a fucking awesome movie. I did not know James Gunn did that, and that is awesome.
I saw it once, and I didn't like.
Slither is fun.
Huh?
Slither's fun, yeah, but what?
It's like, just there's a bit of cruelty to it that I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't like cruelty.
I know that, yeah.
And he enjoys body horror in a way that I don't particularly, but
he enjoys it in a kind of. He enjoys it in the way almost I do, in the sense of
it's so extreme,
kitschy B-movie shite.
Yeah, well, it's like someone in that movie gets shot in the face in such an upsetting way.
I know it is. That was very sad,
yeah.
But that's also just sad. But that was also a tragic scene. That was also a tragic scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it did the job. But here, look, kind of Peacemaker, phenomenal. You know,
that show is better than the character is in that movie, and the character in that movie is two-dimensional and
stiff.
Yeah, they didn't quite know what to do with him. I think they figured out what to do with him while making Suicide Squad. And then they went off to the Peacemaker show. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're better at planning than I give them credit for. Except that, what I was getting to was, I think the reason it took so long to tell us that Cavill was out as Superman was they had that pay or play deal, and they had to go, okay, all right.
Are we prepared to lose money?
Am I prepared to pay him out because we're not going to go forward with him? You know, that I think that took some thought. And I don't think he'll give a fuck. I think he's got the best of both worlds. I think he's got paid, and I think he'll head over to Marvel and he'll play Hyperion, or he'll play, Captain Britain, or he'll play.
Do you think he'll play Captain Britain though? I don't know if that one's.
He would.
I don't think he would. I don't think that one's on the slate as possible characters, because I think Sentry is. There's rumors that Sentry could be the villain for Thunderbolts.
Okay.
And like, kind of, I could totally see him doing evil Superman.
Maybe I'm misreading Sentry, and I read the original run of Sentry. Do you remember that origin story for him?
Oh God, what, 2002? I want to say.
I think so. Back then. Do you remember how that
2002,
happened?
2003, when Jay Lee,
mimetic,
yes,
it was a real like, what would you call it? Like, it's a PR stunt.
It was, yeah, but it was a good one.
It was a good one.
I kind of feel like that's what they're trying to capture lightning in a bottle twice, and they're trying to do that stuff with Miracle Man.
Right.
They seem to have him on a lot of covers of a lot of books, going everywhere.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Sentry was in everything when he came out. He was in everything.
Well, so for those that don't know this, and I think I'm right. I think it was in Wizard magazine.
Yeah. Okay.
I could be wrong. There was an interview and a story around this like character that Marvel had done nothing with for 30 years, but was
really
was a golden age character that had been forgotten about. That Kirby had drawn originally. That was in a Fantastic Four issue. That was knocking around Captain America. That he was there, but they kind of abandoned him and let him fall through the cracks. And he was a sort of 50s, 60s answer to Superman. And so they dug out all this old artwork of him, and they tried to find a way to fold him back into the universe as this sort of character that Reed Richards had mind wiped into living a normal life, because if I remember right, his superpowers, he gets, the more powerful he gets, the more he's like a polar opposites type of thing. As powerful as he is, this anti-energy form builds power as well. So you have him doing all the good in the world he can possibly do, but at the same time there's this negative charge building that they have to fight back. And they figured out that the way to get rid of him was to remove Sentry himself from the equation, remove his powers, cancels out the other guy. Do you remember that then? So the article was in Wizard, and it was like we found his stuff in an attic, and
No, I don't remember that at all. I thought Sentry was my impression of Sentry was that he was like this Golden Age hero, as you said, but it was all lore built by, I can't remember, I know Jay Lee is credited with creating him, and there's another person credited with creating him. I think Jay Lee is the artist, isn't it? But that Sentry had always existed in the background of the Marvel universe and had kind of stepped in when everybody else failed and was like the ultimate power type of thing. Like, but then kind of, as you said, yeah, there was kind of like a double-edged sword to him, you know, and that's when he came. That's what the story was built on. But I don't know anything about the Wizard article, to be honest.
well, that's what I'm saying to you. That's why I'm calling it a sort of mimetic. Like, it was a meme. It's a publicity stunt. It's one of these things that was early days of the internet, 2002ish, not quite the same social media and whatever. And they could
he actually came out in 2000.
He actually came out in 2000. They hyped him, and they built this story, and they built this lore around it, and you were like, oh my god, we found this like archaeological fucking character, and they're doing great stuff with him, and he's been there, and how did we miss this?
It was like a Blair Witch. They built the lore before.
Yeah, they gaslighted us into buying a comic.
I think Sentry's a viable role for Cavill to play, I guess. Hyperion too, you know. Squadron Supreme. I'd imagine the Squadron Supreme will be again introduced like villains, but will turn good.
Do you think that Cavill is in danger of falling into the same category as The Rock, where we talk about the idea that he's so focused on franchises that he's not actually making good movies? Like, Cavill is a product, he's a brand at this point that is being pushed and marketed and built for. We saw The Rock posting the picture from the new Christmas movie that they're releasing next year, and he refers to it as he says, hard at work on a new holiday franchise. And it's like, you haven't released one movie. It's not a franchise. You know?
I know.
It's like, I think that thinking hurts The Rock. Now, maybe The Rock doesn't give a fuck beyond his bank balance and his lifestyle and his family's security and whatever the hell. But like, we've talked about this a bunch at this point. If that's the thinking, it's like, can you stop thinking that and start thinking, I want to make a good movie, and then if it warrants a sequel, if it's received well.
I mean, right, can I be honest with you? I would imagine a certain, like, and I think you have to be realistic to a degree about this kind of stuff, like, but like, The Rock is not getting any younger, right? So if he can cash in on a massive franchise and make it a thing, like, The Rock must be in his late 40s at this stage.
I would argue that man is 55.
But see, this is what I'm trying to say, is basically like, I don't really blame him for trying to get their franchise
50.
Because 50, yeah, it's the late 40s, 50s, yeah. But I just think like do you know what I mean? Like, realistically, as a businessman, he has to stay in favor. He's getting older. He's not as capable of doing what he used to do. You know, as in, like, you know, human beings. But yeah, like, kind of like, it's not that his shelf life is getting shorter, but it's like, I do understand from maybe a business point of view and trying to stay relevant, he's desperate to start any old franchise and just get it off the ground, like, get it like a hype machine, you know? Like, he wants superhero movies that have the same kind of the way Tom Holland is doing Spider-Man, you know what I mean? He wants to be, I know Robert Downey Jr. did Iron Man. It's like he wants that, you know, he wants to just be iconic and be able to, you know, I'm sure make money off of that for the next 10 years before he reaches 60. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but the thing is, for every Iron Man that Robert Downey Jr. does, there's a Zodiac.
Yeah, Zodiac's great.
You know what I mean?
Zodiac is fucking great. Yeah.
Like, that's the thing with Robert Downey Jr., you know? Like,
for every Black Adam, there's a Fast and Furious 15 or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Pain and Gain. I never actually watched Pain and Gain.
It's fine. It's not bad.
Best actor in the MCU. Who do you think? Best actor in the MCU. I'm sure I've asked this before. You know, not including, like, say, villains and stuff. Like, you know,
do you want to be just the Avengers, like?
Yeah, essentially Avengers / you know, like if Oscar Isaac could be one of the best actors in it for sure.
Oh, 100%.
I think Anthony Mackie has mad acting skills. I've seen him in loads of stuff where I'm literally blown away by his performances. Like he is very good.
Best actor.
I think he's great. I saw him do a episode of a show called Singles, where it's just basically one person kind of in a room talking to themselves essentially, and he's basically playing some sort of, I can't remember, millionaire that is replacing himself with a robot. So because he's dying terminally or something like that, so his family don't lose. He wants to replace himself with an exact copy robot or something like that. But it's him going through the motions of it, and it's really fucking good. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, I see best actor in the MCU. I'm pulling up a list here, and it's like there's so many, and there's so many that fall into like.
But obviously, like Anthony Hopkins, and
I was going to say, like, Anthony Hopkins, astounding actor. Ian McKellen
and what do you call her, Kate Blanchett.
But you see, we're saying that because we've seen the body of work beyond the superhero franchise.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't have included essentially Kate Blanchett and Anthony Hopkins because they're Odin and
then Big Six.
What is it?
Like the Big Six of it. If we're saying Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and Hawkeye.
I suppose Scarlett's one of the best there, really, isn't she?
I think I'm going to go the other fucking way, because I think Scarlett's amazing. We've seen her do a broad body of work since she was 14, younger, like Voice Whisperer.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, again, comedy and drama. And like he has grown and grown, and I remember seeing him in Sunshine thinking this guy is getting, and he was pretty boy status, but he's got something here. Is really good. I really feel for him.
He was great in Knives Out.
Amazing in Knives Out. Ruffalo has proven his skill set. Downey Jr. 100%. Who am I missing?
Chris Hemsworth is just more or less Thor.
He's the weakest.
Yeah,
and it's
and then Anthony Mack has a great portfolio behind him as well.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, and Hawkeye, what's his name? Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, I mean Renner's had one or two good flips.
I think Scarlett's probably one of the stronger ones there for sure.
I think the top three are going to be Scarlett, Ruffalo, and RDJ for the top six, just based on like the body of work. I think Evans will catch up.
Samuel L. Jackson has obviously a huge thing behind him, but there's a lot of obviously there's a lot of great actors in the MCU.
Well, that's the thing. You really can't. When you say who's the best in the fucking Marvel universe, it's like I think they just cast huge. Like I don't think there's. Who's your favorite?
It's so funny, man. Who's my favorite actor
in the say the MCU? Like thinking of the other work they've done.
Oh, that's a good question. Who do I enjoy seeing the most?
I think I'm most in awe of like Hopkins.
Yeah. Josh Brolin.
Very good actor.
He's in really good stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty phenomenal. Kate Blanchett is very good though.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen also. Yeah. It's hard to say. It is hard to say. Robert Downey Jr., man. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man, Zodiac. What's that really fucking good one? It's Anton Yelchin is in it. It's like Charlie something. It's
Charlie
very
Bartlett.
very good. Yeah, brilliant one.
Yeah.
The due date. Downey's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's just the gamut of stuff, and like even when he's kind of like that's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
it's still great.
I'm also going off of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang a lot because it's probably one of the better one of my preferred movies. I think it's a Christmas movie.
Tis. Well, that's Shane Black.
I'm gonna watch that.
He likes setting
Yeah,
stuff
it's
at
very
Christmas.
good. Val Kilmer. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one, folks.
Yeah. I just
Perry White.
It felt like the return of Kilmer. That one was like a comeback film for him to have a great role in a fun film, and poor fucker got sick after that.
Yeah, poor old Val for sure.
Scanner Darkly's great. Like weird, but like it's a great journey. I'm not recommending it as like you're gonna have a great time with it, but it's fun.
I've never seen it Scanner Darkly. What they call it put me off big time.
Keanu Reeves?
No, rotoscoping.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a fan of it, man.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to watch.
It's fair. Like I didn't like it in the opening of the Guardians Christmas special.
No. No, not
but
a
it's
fan.
just it's an experience of a movie kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah. But that came out in what 2006? Like 6. Yeah, he's 18.
Yeah. But basically, what I'm getting at is Cavill and The Rock are kind of entering this sort of like brand area, and it's like I saw
when it was
Stallone's
Rock
got Tulsa King. Stallone's got that Tulsa King show coming out, and like he's kind of trapped himself in his like muscle man kind of role, and long term, and like I kind of want these people to grow in the way that McConaughey, like it can be contrived and business minded, but McConaughey very clearly went, I'm making rom-coms because I can while I'm this age, and I'll make a shit ton of money. And then at a certain point he went, okay, and now back to solid
acting.
Projects that I care about,
Yep.
And I worry that, I say I worry, but like I think, I feel like The Rock and Cavill have that in them, but I keep waiting for Cavill to have that moment where he's doing anything other than sort of looking good on screen.
But think about The Rock for a second, right? Jumanji, Fast and Furious.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about The Rock too much. Rock and Marvel is what this whole podcast is.
But no, what I was going to say is like Rock has always done franchises. He's always done them.
Yeah, there was a minute when he didn't have that clout or that social media backing behind him, where he was coming out of the WWE and was trying to find where he lived in that area. So like,
I know, Get Short is a great one. I know
this fucking path for the guy to a degree. I've watched it since he was the WWE guy. Like, and it will be a Schwarzenegger path as well, where it's like, this is the movie where he's hired muscle, which was Be Cool. He had a good.
Be Cool, that was it.
He had a good character arc with that guy. You liked him, but he was still the hired muscle. I wasn't mad on Walking Tall. The Rundown was fun, but again,
I loved Walking Tall, but I'm a basic bitch.
Yeah, I didn't think much of it. I thought it was just a bit. Also, it's about like it's kind of based on a real guy, and it's like I don't like the sort of American fucking
propaganda-esque of it,
of a guy who's showing up with a 2x4 and beating the shit out of drug addict. Like it's a bit.
I get that, but I have to admit, like I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fair.
So I can't say shit.
So he had the phase where he definitely lost a lot of like he slimmed down for that Doom movie. Much was made of that, where he was like, if I'm going to be a leading man in contemporary cinema, I've got to be more normal sized. And then Doom and Southland Tales and like Race to Witch Mountain and that sort of stuff. I think the turning point for him is Tooth Fairy in 2010. And I know that that's a weird thought, but
he's like, I'm not doing that shit again.
No, I think that's when he went, if I make kids love me now, an 8-year-old in 2010 is in their 20s now and thinks The Rock is fucking amazing.
Yeah, fair.
Do you know what I mean? I think it's long-term brand building.
Yeah, well, that's fair. And I understand that.
It's Fast 5 the year later, 2011, where he starts going, oh, I'm a franchise guy. And then he just starts getting bigger and like leaning into the muscle of it all and the scale, being the fucking, like, when he showed up in The Rock, we were like, oh, okay. Or sorry, in Fast 5, he had put on so much size. It was ludicrous.
Yeah, who also, don't forget, he tried to do G.I. Joe. Like, the guy is not unfamiliar with big franchises. He's tried to crack them before.
But, so, I don't know who orchestrated, who planned it, or if it was a complete fucking accident. But coming off of those films where he was sort of leaner, going into Fast 5 with the mindset of just getting huge, and the publicity stunt that was bringing The Rock into that, and the way those stunts scaled up for that movie, like Fast 5 is a turning point for that franchise. That's when it became the thing that it is now. Going into G.I. Joe Retaliation, his hype machine thing, his marketing thing really kicked off, where he started marketing himself as the guy they bring in to reinvigorate franchises.
Was Joel Kinnahan in that? Was he?
Joel Kinnahan? I can't remember. I saw it once, and I think they killed him off very quickly.
I didn't see it at all.
Channing Tatum.
He's tried.
Like, they kept a few people from the first. They kept a few people from the first G.I. Joe movie, but it was really like the Transformers movie as well, where they cleared out a lot of people, and they had Bruce Willis, and they just was like, okay, let's kill all these people off quickly and get on to trying to build a new direction. And that's where he's really started marketing himself as I'm the guy that revitalizes franchises. I am the franchise machine. I am this guy. Like, that's... You're listening to the Rockcast.
Let's move on from The Rock.
Yeah.
He's... Is Black Adam going to get a sequel? Who knows?
No.
We, honest to God, don't know.
I know.
It's not.
It's not. He's talked a big game, but this is the thing. This is why I say he needs to stop talking about fucking the scale of franchise, because you only get so much leeway when you're full of shit. That being said, he probably said the same thing about fucking Rampage, where there's the giant fucking gorilla, and fucking San Andreas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Anyways, yeah, he'll eventually probably go to the MCU and be somebody, but till then.
But he'll come in insisting that he's the most powerful person in the MCU. You know?
Nah, do you think the MCU gonna fuck with The Rock? Nah.
If the MCU bring in The Rock, he'd better be like a SHIELD agent. You know what I mean? Who's like the Martin Freeman role, you know?
Yeah.
Be there, be cool, but like, let's not make him the fucking whole story, you know?
Yeah, or else, like, essentially, if he's going to be somebody, he has to be. I would imagine, right? Just say if it was me, right, and I was The Rock, and I had fucked up with Black Adam, all that bullshit. But I would be like, okay, if Marvel came sniffing around, I would say like, okay, I want to be a villain, I want to be killed off, and I want to, like, basically, I want to kind of affect the MCU in the sense of, like, you know, he kills Iron Man. Do you know that? You know what I mean? Like, as in, like, to have an impact like that. That's like, it's big enough, but like he gets in and out.
Yeah, I'm also kind of sick of that with villains as well, you know, like, because Christian Bale was such a good villain who wasted.
That's a weak movie, yeah.
Wasted.
Let's move on. Let's talk about.
Do you want to know a great, like, hate yourself evening of watching cinema?
Yeah, go on.
San Andreas, followed by Rampage, followed by Skyscraper.
I mean, I've probably done it.
Those are three.
Like,
I just can't do it anymore movies. Like, that is. Oof.
I know.
Just noise, you know? Just. Who cares? Who cares?
If you really want to real hate yourself evening, watch Walking Tall, followed by its sequel starring Kevin Sorbo.
I'm aware of that. I didn't want to bring it up.
And there's probably some third one. So yeah, the Walking Tall trilogy. That'd be a
God,
hoot and a holler.
Fucking Red Notice. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah. Let's not turn this into a looking at The Rock's IMDb podcast and move on. I suggested a movie this week.
You did.
You watched it.
I did.
I watched it. Spoilers alert, I guess.
Spoiler alert. It's called
Better Watch Out.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I want to preface this with saying I liked it. So if you want to watch it, better watch out. It's a kind of a Home Alone. I'm not going to give away anything. It's a Home Alone movie with a twist. It's like, obviously it's adult Home Alone movie with a twist, but I recommend checking out. It's a fun movie. Now, that being said, we're going to spoil the fuck out of it.
Yeah. And what I will do is...
But just better watch out. Go watch it if you haven't watched it.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say we are at X amount of time here. I'm going to take note of that. And when I'm editing the podcast, I'll put a little timestamp in to let you know to jump ahead.
Yeah, we should do that kind of stuff more because people are afraid. I know people don't listen because they're afraid of spoilers.
Oh, okay. Well, should we? Okay. We'll re-examine that in 2023.
Yeah.
I think
2023 is going to be the year of the endless steam.
Endless stream. We're going to fucking...
We're going steam
for
form.
Plans. We had some great guests this year, but we're going to fucking step it up.
Oh yeah, we're going to try and step it up for the new year. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to see how many people I can beg to be on the show.
Yeah.
Maybe some big hitters. There's a few I have in mind that I would love to have on. So we'll see. The Rock being top of that list.
Yeah, I mean that would be that'd be a good get. I mean, as we've always said, The Rock is a phenomenal actor with great business sense. He's very attractive, and every movie he makes is amazing.
I do like The Rock, though. To be fair, so it's fine. Yeah, I like The Rock, man.
I like the
roller
coaster. I like the roller coaster that is The Rock's career, his movies, and whatever. The reason I'm so kind of judgmental is that I'm like, I think because he took a swing at the dramatic stuff and it didn't really fucking
Brian is getting in your head. Don't let Brian get in your head. The Rock, until we know otherwise, is endearing and we like him.
What do you know?
Brian, no, until we know otherwise. I don't know anything, but I don't trust anybody in Hollywood. They're all perverts. Aidan's just after putting away his pervert memorabilia.
So, Better Watch Out is a 2016 movie with Olivia de Jong. How do I say that? Olivia de Jong.
Don't ask me.
I think she played Priscilla in the Elvis movie. And
okay.
Levi Miller, who is he was in Peter Pan, and he's in the upcoming... Oh, I did see this a minute ago. I looked that up. I was like, because he was a little like Australian like child actor, and he was jumping into something where I'm like, oh cool, he's working, because he's very good in this role. I was happy to see upcoming. Where is it? Craven the Hunter. That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
And he's in pre-production on
out.
Witch Mountain, which has to be another fucking take on Escape to Witch Mountain, Return to Witch Mountain, Witch Mountain Returns to Escape to Witch Mountain, which The Rock was in.
I've never seen any of them. But I was going to say, it's a 2017 movie. It's called Better Watch Out. It is the premise of it quickly is Ashley travels to a suburban home of the Lerners to babysit their 12-year-old son Luke during the holidays. She must soon defend herself and the young boy when unwelcome intruders announce their arrival. That's the premise of the movie. Let's get into it. I liked it. Thought it was very good. Twisty and turny was good fun.
Did
you like it?
Ultimately, yes, it's a good movie. It's good fun. It's a roller coastery type of thing. At Christmas time, at Halloween time, I dislike horror movies in tension because I am a soft boy that likes feeling good about myself.
That's fine.
But it took a minute for me to get into it because, like, they're 12 going on 13, and it really felt for a while like a take on like just the baseline toxicity of men who are exposed to the internet and their relationships with women.
Incels.
And they were awful kids. And like, even when he's being kind of sweet and like helping her when like this spider knocking around, the fact that there's this like if I scare her, she'll be aroused, and if I protect her, she'll give me sex. Like, it was...
Yeah. No, it's great so in that awful sense because like, it's like...
It's a perfect observation.
The thing is, it's great, you see, because like they're like okay, I'll say that in a moment because it's quite dark. But the thing is, like, you're seeing these as just kids, right?
Yeah.
That are trying to say woo this girl for an example, right? But even their motives, their actions, and their thoughts and their incentives and all this kind of stuff are incredibly twisted and wrong. Like, they're vile kids. So when the twist comes, it's like it shouldn't be a surprise to you, essentially.
Yeah, and
because they're horrible kids.
I do think maybe I'm overselling it at this point, but I'm like, yeah, this is clever. This is clever because, like, that base scene where you meet them is pure, like, 1980s, like, raunchy comedy. You know, we're gonna go on a panty raid or whatever the fuck was going on in the fucking 80s in frat house comedies. You know, John Hughes type of stuff that's like, as much as you want to go, that's awful and it shouldn't be in movies, it's like, that's, at least that mindset is 100% there. Teenage boys are monsters. Whether that's fed into by the films or just teenage boys being horny monsters.
No, dude, so this movie
both,
takes dark turns. I was going to say this movie takes dark turns, but the reality of it is, right, you have two kids, like those two boys in that movie, there has been, like, you know, countless amounts of cases in the past where two young boys have done some heinous stuff, like boy A and boy B. Like, this stuff, as far out and as crazy as it is, isn't as far out and crazy as you think it is, you know?
And that's why it's like, it kind of having that John Hughesian kind of thing up front is like,
mask. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I know this type of movie. And then it's like, oh, but wait, this is, it does paint as like, oh, this is awful. You know, it's sort of reminding you that, like, yeah, that stuff you watched in the 80s was what it was in the 80s, but it's like, it is awful. You go back and you watch it, like, yeah, they're monsters.
It's problematic now, for sure. Yes, yeah.
And then them talking about the Home Alone stuff is a lovely kind of setup for what comes later. That, like, it's like if the Home Alone kid was a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, a little fucking creepy, rapey psychopath. It's an insane movie. And then as it escalates and, like, kind of, you know, the boy becomes more manic. I think, okay, so basically let's like kind of
step back,
you know,
step back through the
let's
beats
go back.
a bit,
So basically a girl comes over to, like, to be honest, like, even Emer and I were watching it, like, I really enjoyed this movie because I think it's layered and it's interesting, you know. But even like the mother and the father don't have a healthy relationship, and then when the babysitter arrives, the father is being completely inappropriate with the babysitter, which is obviously where the son gets his, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Yeah. The son is obviously influenced by the father and stuff. Patrick Warburton plays whatever his name is,
Patrick
plays
Warburton,
the father.
Yeah,
Warburton.
I'm always happy to see him. He's funny.
Yeah, he's great, and he plays the father. And obviously the parents go off then on their night out or whatever. They're kind of they kind of resent each other in that kind of sense. They're those type of parents, but they go off on their holiday or their night out and stuff, and leave the babysitter and the 12-year-old son who fancies the babysitter at home alone. And the babysitter is getting calls off her partner, who she's kind of doesn't want to see. Would you say that's right?
Yeah. I would say, you know, there's a couple of boyfriends or teenage boys sniffing around the girl, and she's like, kind of just fend them off, and that's used to sort of, like, you know, we're set up to kind of like the boy at the start, and it's, you know, his little heartbreak that there's an actual boyfriend and he's so young, you know.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, you're so cute, kiddo, you know, like, and it's so the setup is just the kid wants to impress the girl, his babysitter, and she's just a bit older than him. It's like, oh, if we were the same age, I'd date you, kind of like friend zoned or kid zoned or generationed out. But it turns into, you know, turns into like Scream. Somebody's trying to break into the house, and they cut the phone lines, and it becomes that sort of survival horror thing, you know, where there's a home invasion.
Yes, and also, as the babysitter is meeting the parents and is getting a kind of a tour of the house or whatever, the mother tells the babysitter that their son, the 12-year-old boy, is beginning to sleepwalk and stuff. So to close his door and leave a pencil kind of resting on the door handle, so if he does get up in the middle of the night and stuff like that, like that the parents will know that he's out and about because the pencil's on the floor.
Yeah.
And that plays into it later.
It does a bit, but it's like this is all sort of misdirecty, you know. But it's also layered. Like that doesn't become a big issue.
No,
but like I guess we've said enough about it at this point that we can just say it, that like the two kids stage this home invasion to scare her so that he can save her,
and she'd fall in love with him.
And she'd fall in love with him. But even the boy's other friend doesn't realize that, like, no, this guy doesn't want to stage a home invasion. He wants to do a home invasion, and he wants to kill some people, and he wants to, like, he's a fucking psychopath.
Basically, you get the impression that I got the impression that the parents kind of like knew he was a psychopath or something.
That's why I was getting straight to there, which is a lovely little piece of the subtext. As you say, it's layered as well. It's like the mother is telling the babysitter that he is sleepwalking, and she has this moment at the end where she's like, I know exactly why your mother stopped hugging you, because she twigs it.
Yeah.
The mother puts that pencil on the fucking door as much as anything so she can know whether or not her fucking psychopath son has left his room. It's not to do with the fucking fact that he might sleepwalk. It's a lovely little piece of, like, I won't say it out loud, but we need to know where this guy is going because something's going on, you know?
Yeah, and and his other buddy, his little friend, who was in actually the main actor, how do you pronounce her name?
Olivia de Jong. Okay.
Yeah, Olivia de Jong. She and Ed Oxenbould is in this movie as well. He plays the son's best friend, Garrett, and Garrett is kind of. He's not as psychotic as and these are both, like, obviously people from massive privilege, but he's 12 years old and he's. But you know, I'm going to say he's 12 years old and he's raiding like the parents' medicine and like taking Oxycontin and stuff. Like he's basically he's 12 years old. He's going to be one of those rich kids who becomes a drug addict. That kind of, or affluent kids that become a drug addict. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's just like the other kid.
He's just a kid.
Slips him an oxy to sort of zone him out and get him compliant. Like, he's a kid. He's an idiot. He's got roped up in something. But...
And he does basically, like, you feel sorry for him, then you don't. You feel sorry for him, then you don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that he knows it's wrong and all that kind of stuff. But he's obviously... But again, like, you know, the likes of Luke are capable of manipulating plenty of people. Not just, you know, their parents or whatever. What do you do, Aidan? Stay with me.
It was very fun and very unexpected and very twisty and
the paint can scene. That paint can scene is horrendous and it's so sad.
Grim.
Yeah. Did the other boyfriend show up in the end?
Yeah. Yeah, he hung around for a while.
The other fella?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was Ricky in the paint can. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. We're trying to avoid spoilers, even though we've given away loads of spoilers. But yeah, Billy. Was it a Billy from Stranger Things?
Was that who that was? I recognise his head.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in Stranger Things. He's another kind of, as Aidan said, kind of suitor. You know.
I don't think I said that, but
no, but I mean, like, one of the lads sniffing around Ashley. But he like it's a great. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's not exactly a Christmas movie, but it's set based on Christmas, and it's a good movie.
Yeah. It was very fucking fun.
Yeah, highly recommend.
What's the name of the one you recommended last Christmas?
Anna and the Apocalypse.
Anna and the Apocalypse. The musical zombie.
Which we would be will 100% be watching before Christmas Eve night. Love that movie. Wow. When it comes to killing zombies, I'm the top of my class. When you've been busy hiding, I've been kicking some ass. The best line of defense is attack. You don't like that? You don't like Anna and the Apocalypse, man?
It was a bit of fun, but it's like...
Scrooge McScroogerson.
it's pretty ropey.
Do you know if you lower your standards when it comes to media and entertainment, you enjoy more?
I'm the guy that makes that argument.
You are absolutely not the guy.
I am 100% the guy. I know people that are like the snootiest motherfuckers, and like Brian's threshold for cinematic joy is so fucking high. Sometimes, like I'm pure like just enjoy see movies stuff. But when we come on here and start discussing them, I'm like, this is the thing. I'll enjoy a movie that's bad. I'm not oblivious to what's going on in it, though. Do you know what I mean? I watched Down on the Apocalypse and I enjoyed it. I'm not going to watch it again. It was ropey. The production values, the singing was awful.
Great, I loved it.
Like
can't wait to watch it again.
It's not that the singing was bad, but it's like it's clearly like, I don't know. It's just.
It's a great movie. If anyone wants to watch it, watch it.
Yes. I think a lot of people
Brian
that don't do
Aidan.
a lot of singing were singing. And they did fine.
Then that's all right.
And they did fine, and it's fun. But woof, I'm not watching it
When it comes to killing zombies, I'm the top of my class. I loved it. Great movie. I need a human voice. What else? I finished What We Do in the Shadows, all 4 seasons.
Very good.
That have been on Disney Plus, and I absolutely loved it. Colin Robinson is easily one of my favorite characters, and Lazo, they're great.
Laszlo's.
I don't know if you've seen it. If you've seen season 4.
I don't know if I finished the season.
Naja and the nightclub. It's very, very funny. Naja is also great. It's a good. It's a solid show. It's nice. It keeps up the pace well. Each season was enjoyable as the last. You know. I don't want to give away any spoilers or anything that like, but I liked how season 4 ended a lot, and I look forward to more. Season 4, excellent. I really enjoy What We Do in the Shadows. Emer and I started watching The Patient with Steve Carell and Donald Gleeson.
How is it?
Yes, I'm enjoying it. What would I say about it? I'm enjoying it a lot. I think I'd like to watch it. I think save it until it's fully out.
Okay.
There's 4 episodes out now, though, if you wanted to get on it. But it is good. Like I think Steve Carell is brilliant. Donald Gleeson obviously is excellent. Donald Gleeson, though, his hair is black, and I find that very off-putting. I think if you're ginger, just don't dye your hair.
Okay.
If you have beautiful ginger hair and beautiful ginger eyebrows, and then you go dyeing it looking black, and it's just like, it looks so artificial. But maybe he's meant to, because he's so off-putting, you know, that kind of way. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, The Patient, and watching Willow. I'm still invested in Willow, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Like, I'm now finished work. I'm gonna have some time. I'm taking some time from the gym just to like heal up and stuff. Not that I need healing up, but like, you know, as I said,
rest is important as anything.
Rest is important as anything else. I've done a lot of work over the last year and a half in there. I've got a little niggle in my left elbow that's just going to recover from rest. So I've taken a couple of weeks off here. I'm going to watch some movies. I'm going to enjoy the season. I'm going to dig into Willow. I was just looking at Prime here as well. Like, I haven't...
Yeah, watch the movie first again if you haven't watched it, and then watch the show.
Oh, I know that movie.
I know that
movie inside out, and that movie's amazing. And we talked a little bit about it last week, and like, one of the things that was tripping me up on the first 2 episodes was like, everything's just a bit too clean, and if you go back and watch Willow, it's muddy and dirty, and there's film grain.
Yes, I know that, yeah.
Everything's a bit too clean so far in Willow. And, you know, I guess it's sort of the long term of seriousness, but like, you know, when you're making a movie over 8 weeks or whatever, as opposed to a series over months and potentially years, you can put your actors through a little more in terms of uncomfortable and dirt. You know what I mean?
Yes. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But like, I want to watch Carrie's The Grinch, because I haven't watched that in a few years.
It's excellent, man. That's directed by Ron Howard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal movie. It's one of those movies that, like, you know, they could have relied on more CGI, but they just didn't. They built everything.
I even don't necessarily think they could have. Like, in 2001, well, no, I'm just saying in terms of, like, you know, where you know what CGI was doing. You know, if they had leaned into
it was 10
CGI,
years
it would
since
have
Jurassic
dated
Park.
it like crazy. Yeah.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying though. Like they could have, like nowadays they would lean into CGI more.
Yeah.
But that movie doesn't. Is the Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio out yet?
It is, yeah. We talked about it briefly last week.
But I don't think it came out this week. But I want to watch that. But I might save that for Christmas.
No, we talked about it a bit last week on the podcast. Because myself and Brian had a look at it.
Did you both watch it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do watch it. I landed on. It's not entirely for me. I didn't enjoy it all that much. But as an animator, it was phenomenally well made and crazy technical achievement. There's shots in it, and there's characters in it, and there's designs in it where it's like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful and amazing. I've always said that Del Toro's production design sense and art direction.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching it for, man.
Like the fairy godmother that sort of shows up. I can't remember if it's a fairy godmother in Pinocchio or some spirit, but somebody shows up and makes Jiminy Cricket.
It's a fairy godmother.
It is a fairy godmother.
It's a fairy godmother. Yeah.
It's this.
I like the Pinocchio story. Emer doesn't, so that's why we've not watched it yet.
I'd love to know. Like, I have my idea
out.
where the influence of the fairy godmother came from, but it's like the sort of
okay. I'll watch it.
Angels
okay.
That are just this massive eyes.
Yes, yeah.
It's that kind of thing, but they refer to it as like forest spirits or energies that are in the world but don't generally take notice of humans. But sometimes, the cry is,
they do.
Sometimes, if the cry is sincere enough or the problem is real enough, they'll lean in. And Del Toro talking about the movie, somebody asked him if it was, can kids watch this movie? And he said, kids can absolutely watch this movie, but it's not a kids' movie.
Fair.
You talk to your children. Like, children are more mature or more capable of understanding things than they get credit for. And he said, just look at what's going on in the world in terms of pandemic, in terms of conflict, in terms of whatever.
That's a good point.
Like, people are aware of these things, and if you talk to them maturely, they understand more than you give them credit for. And watching a movie that isn't necessarily Disney level squeaky clean child friendly is not going to hurt kids. The movies that we watched that were Disney squeaky clean family films from the fucking 70s and 80s were a little more real than we remember, Yeah. In terms of characters like smoking and drinking and, being human.
Yeah, fair.
I would be surprised. Can you think of a Disney movie in the last couple of years where there's a guy having a glass of wine and having a smoke in the middle of it somewhere and being leery? You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
I think
Ratatouille.
I think the butler wanting to kill the cats in Aristocats was a bit boozy. You know what I mean? But that's the 60s, wasn't it?
Yeah. Aristocrats, yeah. It was a long time ago when smoking was definitely not as problematic, I would say.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was like probably it was that was when that in the 60s, they were probably advertising cigarettes in front of the fucking movie.
Well, the thought process was always just this is a real thing in the world. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we just portray it? But then the thought was, why portray it at all? Because it's influencing people.
Yeah, but sure. Look at how many comic books have you read during your childhood versus now, where Wolverine is smoking?
Does he not smoke anymore?
He doesn't smoke. I don't think so, no. I haven't seen him smoking in ages.
All right. Well, fair enough.
What else? Did I watch anything else this week? Oh, actually, not that I watched anything else this week, but I do have some Spider-Man news, because we had Into the Spider-Verse trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Come out this week. But that didn't really show that much, did it?
What did you make of that trailer? That's good basic.
It didn't really show much. I don't really remember it, to be honest. He talks to his mum, and kind of it doesn't give a lot, does it?
So I could again, this is me being over analytical. Maybe there's nothing to it. I like Spider-Man 2099. He's definitely a hero.
Mm-hmm.
There is a glimpsey moment where we see that character and then like a flash of a little child. And it's like, okay, so is this a villain messing with the universes again to try and get his child back in a exactly the same way that Wilson was. And he's a Spider-Man that's gone off the rails and has to be brought back or stopped. And it's like, I know that even if it is basically the same story as the first one, I'm sure it'll be stunning and I'm sure it'll be great fun and whatever. But like, there's part of me that's like, but it's Spider-Man 2099. We're just going to redeem him. Like, that's like, I know how we're going to get to the end here. He's Spider-Man. He's going to go on a journey and he's going to learn or whatever, you know? It just feels like wheels spinning until Spider-Man 2099 is on the team for the third one. Though they did say that they've 2 in production, don't they?
Of the
Spider-Verse.
The Spider-Verse movies. Yeah, I'd say so.
I think the third one's like a given and it's in progress as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, so what was your Spider-Man news?
Well, I was just going to say, it's I don't know. It's obviously not. It must be. It's a Sony tidbit of information. But basically, they have now announced that Donald Glover, reported to be cast in a Sony Spider-Man film that will be written by Miles Murphy, the son of Eddie Murphy, and will focus on the character Hypno Hustler.
I beg your fuck? What? I beg your pardon?
The Hypno Hustler.
Oof. Is that a deep cut or is that a...
That's a pretty deep cut, man, because I know the different characters that, like, what they call him, Donald Glover is kind of attached to and interested in and all that kind of stuff, like, and the Hypno Hustler is not a cool dude. He's like a music character.
I wonder if that's just going to be well, that's the Sony own stuff that's in the Spider realm. They can do Spider things, so they really read every book and go, "Who the fuck is there?" So is this? I wonder if this is going to be a Spider-Man movie at all, or if it's going to be like, you know, a Morbius and a Venom type of thing.
I don't know, but why is Donna doing it?
I would wager that it's just we've got a name, we can put Marvel on it, and do whatever you want, Donald.
Yeah.
It's just a framework into which you can work. And to be fair, those are people who I like their work, you know. I like what they do when they do things. So if they're going to write something, like, it's smart hiring clever, talented people that do good things, you know.
Yeah. It's just frustrating because it just means that to go out and try and find a comic book now.
Oh, I see. Is the intent to buy a Hypno Hustler book?
Yeah.
Well, you should do it before I release this podcast and all of our listeners go scrambling for it.
It's done. I've done it.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't. It's out of stock. Fuck. I'll find it. I know what you're messing. Also, the Barbie trailer. What the fuck?
I was about to say that was so fun. That's going to be great.
I watched it with no sound.
Oh,
so
you gotta put the fucking 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey music. Dude, I thought so.
Is it Thus Spake Zarathustra?
Do you know the song Reptus Dominus? Ha 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 ha. Reptus Dominus.
I don't. I have a notion of what you're talking about, and it sort of falls into a whole family of vaguely sort of ominous choral classical music.
Oh.
I
don't think it's the Beelzebub. Lucifer. I don't know if it's that one.
Yeah, where it's naming demons. Lucifer.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's that one I'm talking about. But yeah, Beelzebub. Reptus. Dominus.
So why have you mentioned that?
Just came into my head.
Okay. What did you think of the Barbie trailer?
Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. It looked absolutely crazy. Yeah, wild. But I have to watch the full thing with sound on. I guess is what I'm coming
I
from.
think you do to get that sort of tone of it a bit, but like, I mean, it's so the opening is all 2001: A Space Odyssey. You saw that, yeah?
Yeah,
Like it's the
and then I saw the kind of little what they call it. I saw then the little kind of. I saw the whole trailer.
the little montage of other shots from
Yes, montage. That's the word I was thinking. Yeah.
Like when you see the whole like pink world out there, the dream home stuff, it was giving me Speed Racer vibes. I thought of you, just in terms of being the sort of artificial CGE kind of hyper real space.
Yeah, but I'm open to Barbie being a good movie. You know, I'm not going to rule it out.
Yeah, it looks fun. I don't know what the fuck it's going to be.
I mean, you really like you really have to just kind of. Basically, it's like going to see Transformers, isn't it? It's like if you're going to just see a movie about these things, like you can't kind of be too. You can't come out of the cinema and be like, that was what the fuck was that? That was shit. It's just kind of like, yeah, you went to see a movie about Barbie.
Yeah, you're walking into an experience.
Yeah. Okay, the Hypno Hustler is going to be hard to get.
Man, you are into the hobby, eh?
Yeah.
I remember talking to a guy who was selling comics at Dice years back, and he's the first person that I've ever heard use that piece of language. You know, like because I was doing this little like interviewee series where I was trying to talk to the people selling stuff because it was a cool thing. I actually have that footage. I should see if I can use it for something. You know, I recorded stuff thinking I'd make a little comic book culture in Ireland documentary, but then Dice folded. You know, there wasn't another one, and like I was kind of trying to like. I'm always trying to do shit. Do you know what I mean? But like, if I don't have a little like I was doing that with one or two people, and then they all fucked off, and I kind of was like, okay, I guess I'm on my own. I kind of let it slip. But I still have that footage where I went around and interviewed people at Dice that year. I wonder what I could do with it. But this guy was selling comics, and I was talking to him, and he was sort of telling me, like, I first got into the hobby back in, and I was like, oh wow, I've never heard it referred to as the hobby. You know what I mean? Like it's a piece of language, and his hobby was like, you know, like collecting comics and seeking out rare books and getting them graded and like all of the like idiosyncrasies of like. Whereas I'm just like, I'll buy a book and read it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like kind of that's it for the most part, man. You know, but there's the odd like I won't get a Hypno Hustler because fucking it's not gonna go anywhere. But I won't get it. I want to get it. I want to get Sentry and Hyperion.
I still have to read that. It looks so.
Oh,
good.
okay, happy, okay, awesome.
The Superman 78 with the Will Torres stuff. Like I have these here wrapped in plastic. That's part of my holiday plans. Sit back and read them. Things.
I was down in Cork last weekend with Brian. It was a lot of fun.
I'll follow that up. You finish your point here.
But I gifted him some stuff because I still have. But I have stuff for you from Brasilia, which is technically your birthday present because I didn't get anybody anything from Brazil. Just got you and Brian stuff because it was your birthdays. So I got you stuff, and I have a book for you. But yeah, but yes, I went down to Cork to visit Brian. It was great. We went to the Black Dog on Saturday. We went to the Black Dog and we had tacos, and fucking that was awesome. And then we went around town and had a few drinks with friends of ours, and that was fun. And then we got home, and Brian was staying in his brother's place, dog sitting. So when we got home, there was loads of dogs, and it was a lot of fun. There was 3 dogs, and it was great. This was a nice little weekend. Yeah, can't complain. When I hang out with good people, have fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Nothing too wild or crazy, but that's how I like it.
I want to get like there's a few Christmassy things that I want to get to, but I'm also tired and want to get to the point where I can just sit down for 2 weeks.
You'll get there, buddy. You'll get there. Make sure you do, though. You know.
I put so much into this Christmas show that I didn't get to do a piece of work for the podcast this week.
I'll do a piece for the podcast.
I actually have because
but if I send it to you in WhatsApp, just post it from WhatsApp.
I told the story about me trying to get a taxi, And like I sketched it, but I didn't get to finish it off. So I'm gonna do that, because that last week I talked about me standing out in the cold for 2.5 hours. So I've got the drawing there. I just need to tighten it up, and that'll be last week. So I'm not going to miss an episode.
In 2023, no, you won't. In 2023, I will try and do more of them. I think 2023 is going to be a little bit crazy. It's going to be a hectic year, but I'll try and do more of them for sure. Now, let's discuss. This comes out on Monday. We'll do another episode next week.
Yes. Well, no, we'll hold on. Today's the 17th. If we were doing another episode next week, we're doing a Christmas Eve episode.
Yes. Well, no, we could do it. I was going to suggest we could do a Tuesday evening or something.
Yes, and then we can release it on Christmas Day.
If you wanted to, yeah. But just make it like an hour episode. Just talk shite.
Cool.
Yep. What else was I going to say to you? No, that's pretty much it.
So I'll get it up on Christmas Day, and then we'll, take a week off like we did last year, and come back in for an episode starting on Monday the 9th.
Yeah, sounds all right.
That sounds a plan, right?
Yeah. What was I going to say to you?
So are you? What's your plan for the next week? Because Christmas is coming up. So are you?
I'm working.
You're working. I'm working right up to.
I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
And then I'm off from whatever from that Thursday to the 3rd or the 2nd of January.
Very good. And are you staying in Dublin, or are you heading up to Athlone?
So we will not be going to Athlone. Shout out to my brother if he's listening. Happy Christmas, man. I miss you. I won't be going to Athlone this year. No, unfortunately. Just with the way things worked out. But we will be in Wicklow.
Ah.
Beautiful County Wicklow. Nice. We'll be down in Wicklow.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be there for a couple of days.
Yeah. If you're around Dublin, let me know.
I would indeed. Yeah. Even come over.
Yeah.
Shoot the breeze.
For sure. Yeah.
Because I like shooting the breeze at home more, because I can hear things.
One of the things I didn't mention, I bought a Kickstarter sketchbook in March, and it arrived during the week. It's an Alberto Ruiz, you know that guy? It's like a life drawing book.
You have to show.
Look at the fucking scale of that thing.
Crazy. What's it called?
Line and Mass.
Okay.
And it's
wow, that looks incredible, man.
It's a lot of life drawing-y stuff.
Yeah, brilliant. Sure, Jesus Christ, excellent.
And it's one of those things that I've completely fucking forgotten. And it's it's the size of a phone book, if people remember phone books. And it came with a few stretch goalie.
Lovely
things.
Yeah, I actually also got a package from Kickstarter this week. I got Aaron Lotzie's Plowman. Aaron is a local creator, and I might have mentioned his books on this channel or on this podcast before, but Aaron is a local creator who did a book called Plowman. It's like a 60-page comic kind of short story. Well, is that a short story? I don't know. I got a few stickers. There's a little sketch done inside the book, because I backed it on Kickstarter, and really, really enjoyed it. Nice little book. I love seeing Irish local talent. I just love seeing people doing this shit, self-publishing. It's just fucking awesome. More of it, and I'll be there to back it.
That was the first time I've ever backed anything on a Kickstarter or whatever. I don't know what came over me in that moment. It was funny. That looks cool. I'll give that, whatever.
I don't know if I said on the podcast before, but Kickstarter and those type of things, they're basically just at this stage, they're almost just small press publishers. They're publishing more comics and stuff than bloody actual companies,
Yeah. I think often as well, there's maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like they go into it with it's I've got the money to publish this, but I want to build the hype and sell the books.
Yeah, but it's all business.
Yeah.
If people do.
Should we say something that we will watch next week?
I don't mind saying something we should watch next week, and we can tell our audience should they want to join us. But I do have a question for you.
Go on.
What's the most beautiful song?
The most beautiful song? Do you have an answer for this, or are you just asking me?
I have an answer, but it's my personal taste.
Okay.
Get your own fucking answer.
I don't know. I like the Parting Glass a lot.
Oh, that's Mike's song.
Is it?
Yeah, you fucking ruined it.
No, sorry about that. Well, you were going to say Parting because it's a bye, and was it just a way of ending it?
No.
What do we watch?
What will we watch? No, but Parting Glass is a beautiful song.
It is.
What will we watch?
I mean, if we drop
Oh,
this...
I started watching the Santa Claus TV show. It's awful. It's not enjoyable.
Yep.
It made me dislike Santa.
Yep. I mean, I think I said this 3 weeks ago, and Brian was like, "Why are you watching that at all?" And I haven't gone back to it. And I've seen a couple of people since comment on the fact that the minute it kind of goes like sort of anti-woke, and I hate the word woke as well, but the minute it's sort of like commenting on woke culture, it's like, okay, is this what we're doing?
This is miserable.
Listen, you watch Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I'm going to watch the Murderville Christmas special for sure.
Oh,
Will Arnett.
I'm going to watch the Murderville Christmas special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Maybe we can do a poll on Instagram where we could just throw up 2 movies between now and, or for the 24 hours that's on. We can see, which it doesn't matter because people aren't going to hear this by the time we watch the movie. You text me afterwards. Let me know what you think.
Sure. I'm just trying to see if there's anything.
Yeah, it's okay.
3 Pines is there. The Old Man. Brian's been trying to get us to watch The Old Man for a while. Chimes
I'll watch The Old Man.
Is on Amazon Prime. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I don't want. The reason I hesitate with The Old Man is Brian's talked about it a bunch, so it's not particularly fresh content for us to be talking about. You know.
Oh, I've not seen it.
I'm just having a look at Prime and seeing what's new on here. Don't know what's Chimes at Midnight. It's Shakespeare, Orson Welles playing Falstaff.
No.
Want to bring some I don't know, pretension to the podcast?
No, you do that enough.